Okay, hey guys, it's Nate Ness. October 31st, 2017, basically Halloween. There's going to be a lot of door knockers tonight. um, just follow up with you. We did do some doors today. Not a real good response, but we did have an appointment at 5 that pushed it back till the morning, tomorrow morning. This guy has been pushing appointments back since last Friday, kind of. He's a truck driver, and he was like out of town or whatever, but he's just a super flake. And again, you're going to find that in sellers and in buyers sometimes. But it's a great property in like the southern part of the metropolitan area, which is the Chandler, Arizona area of Phoenix, and it's a really highly desired home. It's not like it's a mansion or anything, but it's a really nice house and it doesn't need a lot of work. So it's an excellent buy and hold property. It's near the stadium where they have the spring training, which is very important, especially for things like Airbnb. It has a pool. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's got a 2-car garage. It's in a cul-de-sac in the Chandler area. And again, like if you have an Airbnb in Chandler, it's a really good hustle, especially around baseball time, because when spring training comes, like everybody comes into town to watch, whatever team come. I forget. I'm not a huge sports fan. I'm a boxing UFC guy, but you get these type of properties that are buy and hold. It might take $5,000 or $10,000 to really do anything to this spot, and you can kind of sell it at a high price. Highly desired area, near everything, including Tempe. It's right, like you can get on the highway and just drive to Scottsdale, which is a highly desired area in Phoenix, Arizona. It's right off the freeway. Great property, perfect for Airbnb. It's like, perfect. Not a lot of work, and people will pay cash for it, and they'll Airbnb it. Instead of making like $2,500 a month, they can make like $6,000 a month. They throw a bunch of nice furniture, contemporary furniture in a house like this. It has a PebbleTech pool. It's a beautiful property, so you can throw parties at it. You can throw a really nice contemporary furniture in there, and charge really high prices. You can bring your family down from wherever you live, and it's a nice, safe neighborhood for your kids. And next to the baseball field where you can go watch spring training. It's close to the college, which is Arizona State University in Mill Avenue, if you're a younger couple and you bring some friends. And then if you have some great money, it's not far drive from Scottsdale either. So a really great location, really great home. The guy is in pre-foreclosure. He went through some sort of a bankruptcy. But he, again, like you can work any deals. Once it's actually out of bankruptcy, you can actually buy the property, because once it goes into foreclosure, it's pretty much, he doesn't have any choice. He has 2 really nice cars, but he can't really afford to pay the back payments back. He spoke with his dad, who needed to approve, and then he also spoke with his bankruptcy lawyer, who also needed to approve. So both those things are green lights, and but again, he's saying yes. The reason that a person like this is a flake, there really is no reason other than the fact that they're just that way. But I had my one of my students work this deal, and again, like they just, when you're new, you don't really know what to say and do, but you need to be at a point of authority. So when we actually spoke with this gentleman last week, my student had been talking with this guy for a little while, and we had actually brought a contract over for him to sign. And, again, even when I went and kind of, really just let him know what we're about and that we don't want our time wasted, he was a lot more receptive. Even though he didn't sign the contract, he just wanted to speak with like his lawyer, and he wanted to speak with his dad, and he wanted to do whatever. Again, they need to like feel good about it. So you need to make them feel good about it. So that's essentially what this guy what this guy needed to do before he felt good about, signing a contract. So, whatever it takes. But again, like when you come from the position of authority, when you really let them know that you're not fucking around with them. Again, and that's my mentality. I'm not disrespectful at all. I'm just assertive. I'm nice, but I'm also very firm. I'm never a cocky person. I'm never, I come from a, a perspective of I'm here to help you. But if you don't let me help you, I can't do anything for you. You know what I mean? Like, and it makes them really think, it's like reverse psychology. But you also have to come from the, position of strength because, there's a lot of guys out there that throw their weight around, and there's a lot of guys out there that are begging for deals. And so the guys that are begging for deals are essentially really new. Okay, they don't know what to say, and they're just kind of like, "I'll give you this," and they're trying to throw a number out at the door or whatever, and that's the worst thing that you can do. And then when you're an asshole, that doesn't work either. I mean, people just don't respond to you being a fucking prick. I mean, they're already emotional, and so you're going to be a dick to them. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Some people are just like, well, you're going to lose your fucking house. So, fuck. And again, like, it's just people get frustrated. There's so much money and there's so many deals out there that you don't need to be begging for a deal. And you also don't need to be rude to people. You just got to let them know that you are serious. And you can do that in a very nice manner that doesn't offend them. Again, just be assertive and nice, but let them know that you're not fucking around. And if you do it that way, it will work for you. It will tilt the deal in your direction. Like, you'll get the deal because you're acting that way. You know what I mean? Even if you're down to your last $2 and you're desperate and you need to make money, desperation is not going to help you. You know what I mean? Like acting desperate towards a seller is not going to help you. Desperation will help you if you're broke as shit. It really will. It'll help you. It'll get you out there and start knocking doors and be motivated. So, things will work out. Things will happen eventually. Like if you just keep working. But letting somebody know that you're desperate to get a deal is not a good way to approach any sort of a seller. Like they smell blood. Okay, so people can sense stuff. Like you have human behavior. People can know if you're scared. They know if you're new. They know if you're a rookie. They know if you're an asshole. They can feel if you're like if they don't feel good about something. If they feel like you're a thief, like that stuff can like, you know what I mean? And then this guy had already told me, I just got a bunch of guys that are just a bunch of bullshit. He was like, you're the first guy that I really felt, like you were being real with me. And I am being real with this guy because I'm not trying to screw him. I'm trying to save him. I'm trying to get some of that equity in his pocket, which is still a lot of money, right around 30, 40 grand from what I see. You never know until you get the title port back. But like that could be in his pocket. He doesn't want to lose that money. And he knows that. And I let him know that. You know what I mean? I didn't let him know the exact number, but I'm like, from what I see, you have pretty good equity. If you owe this and I'm buying it for you for this, then we're good. You're gonna make some money, but you gotta pull the trigger. And if you don't pull the trigger, you're really wasting my time. And again, I don't say it like that though. I don't really say. I just say that like, you're if you don't pull the trigger, like you're gonna lose that equity, and then again, things come up in real estate. Like you got to give it some time. You can do a deal in like 2 or 3 weeks, but you really want to expect about 30 to 45 days really on your average deal. Some deals can happen in 2 weeks. Just depends on how fast the title company works, but if the title company is waiting on other companies to give them their lien information on what they owe, like that could take, you get one company and they have 3 liens and the first 2 companies have given the lien information to the title company, and then the third is just dragging their feet, or the bank is dragging their feet, like that could take some time, and again, this guy really has about, he only has about 45, 47, 48 days until they actually auction his house off at an auction house. So, again, expressing that type of information in a very simple way, okay? A very simple way. Like, I know I talk a lot, but again, when I'm there, I don't talk a lot. Like, I listen more. I shut the fuck up. And then I just, again, let them know in a very simple way so that they can understand it. They don't work in real estate. A truck driver doesn't work in real estate. A doctor doesn't work in real estate. you know, the average person that's not in real estate doesn't really know anything about real estate. They don't know how the transactions work. So you explaining title and liens and judgments and all that kind of shit is just going to make their head spin, and it makes them not really want to do business with you because they don't want to feel like that they're weak or unintelligent and that you're the more intelligent person. You know what I mean? And again, I don't try to be more smarter than them. I make them think that they're smarter than me. And then I'm just real direct about it. You know, I'm just like, you know, please don't disrespect my time, kind of attitude. But, you know, I get my point across to where they know that I'm very serious. So again, you know, this guy knows that I'm serious because every time like he tries to flake out, I just set an appointment, you know, and then when he flakes me out, he knows to like text me or call me and be like, hey dude, can we set the appointment? So he's done that to me a couple times, but I'm still setting the appointments. So again, we're going to wake up at, you know, 7:45 tomorrow, and we're just going to show up at his house. And I don't call anybody before I go by the way. If you set an appointment, don't call, even if you're driving like, you know, 30 minutes out of the way. I would just go to the appointment. Like, you're already out driving and knocking on doors is what you should be doing anyways. So if you got to drive 30 minutes out of your way to an appointment that you already set, I would just do that and then knock on the door. You know, if they're being flakes or whatever, you know, you going to the appointment and just being like, hey, you know, we just need to go over this. Give me 10 minutes. I'll go over the contract with you and then I'll be out of your hair. Okay, just wait for the title company to call you. That kind of shit. But again, I continually follow up when I know somebody is ready to sign with me. Okay. So, and they feel obligated, like this guy feel obligated to at least communicate with me. So I know that there's something there. But again, I just keep doing it. I just keep doing it and doing it and doing it until it actually becomes a deal. Then once it's locked up, it's very psychological. The seller knows that he's in a contract. The title company calls, he's more alert. And then you can start, you know, marketing the property. Take very wide angle pictures of the property, all the rooms, any sort of like blemishes, like any punched in walls or anything like that. Make sure that you're taking pictures of those very wide angle pictures. You can create a flyer, and you also, which is one of the best things that you can do, is a video. Take a video of the property. You know, go start from the street and take a good, you know, video of the home, like on the front of the home, and then walk through the home. Okay, and then your buyers can see a video of the home, and they can also see pictures, and make sure there's some good light in there. You know, that kind of will minimize how many buyers you need to walk through the property. So again, a professional cash buyer really doesn't need to take out a fucking, you know, what do they call it? A tape measure. They don't need to come in there with hammers and compasses and all this kind of shit and a square and, you know, a level and all this kind of stuff. They don't need to do any of that. Like, they know what they're getting into. So again, if you have good pictures in a video, they just need to walk on the property once and it's a done deal. You get your newbie buyers, like they want to, like, you know, they want to get on top of the roof, and they want to like crawl through the attic and crawl through the crawl space and turn on the water and do all this kind of shit. Those are your like rookie buyers. Like, they don't know shit. You know what I mean? Like, they act like they know just because they have money, and all of a sudden they got some money out of their 401k, and all of a sudden, you know, they're the professional house flipper and they try to throw their weight around. The pros, like, they just need to look pictures. Most guys don't even want to walk the property. Like, they just like, when do I get the keys? Again, follow-ups really work too. So again, I'm just following up with this guy. Once I have it under contract, I start to market the property. If this guy is a super flake, it actually can work in your favor as well. Another piece of information is that, you know, you don't really need to worry about closing really quickly. Okay. Again, if you're setting your price at a fair price, but like maybe it's on the higher end, you know, a solid property like this will probably go pretty fast. But again, like, he's asking for kind of a high price for me to actually do this. But it doesn't need a lot of work anyway. So it's definitely a buy and hold property. It's not a flip. Okay. People are going to want to buy and hold this. So again, it's going to be, you know, one person that actually buys the property, but it should sell probably in the first week. But if you do have a property that doesn't sell, having somebody that's a total flake like this guy, helps you because like you don't have to worry about selling it within that like 45-day period. You know what I'm saying? Like you can spend 30 days marketing it. And if nothing happens, then you can drop the price, or you want to drop the price on the second week. But you can like put it out there and eventually it'll sell. So there's always advantages and disadvantages. Getting somebody in this property is going to be a pain in the ass, like getting a buyer to walk through the property, because I have to set an appointment with this guy, which he always flakes out. So that's kind of the disadvantage there, is that this guy sucks. You know what I mean? And he's got 2 younger boys that live there, and they're a lot alone. They're in their like teens though, you know what I mean? So you're not essentially allowed really in the property unless there's another adult there, because if anything happens, that puts you at risk. Puts your company at risk, puts everything at risk, if anything happens whatsoever. So you don't ever want to go in there when there's just kids. You want an adult there at all times. So if I can work out something where he has a friend or a family member that can come by and just be there, that's fine too. Again, if you have a good property or a good deal, like you just need one buyer, and all it really takes. If you have a really, really, really good deal, it'll sell in 30 minutes. And they just need to walk the property once, or they don't even need to walk the property. Those are the kind of guys that I like to sell to. They're doing 30 deals at a time, or they're doing 25, or they're doing 20, or they're doing 15. Those guys don't need to measure shit. They know what they're getting into. They know what to do. They can eyeball stuff. So again, if you take a video and you have good wide angle pictures, they don't really need to walk through the property. You get your average flipper or some realtor that they're flipping the house basically, and they're borrowing the money from their dad. Again, every realtor in town thinks that they know everything about real estate, and then when it comes to flipping, they really don't know what they're looking at. You know what I mean? So the real pros, they know their shit and they know what they're getting into, and it's not a big deal. This property again isn't going to take that much work. Already, like it's not really move-in ready, but it's already ready. Like you don't really need anything, you know what I mean? Like you might have to clean up a little bit. You could replace the carpets if you wanted to, but again, like you don't even really need to paint or anything. You just might be doing touch-up work, but the carpet looks good. I mean, it's mostly tile anyway. All the rooms look great. Great neighborhood, great cul-de-sac, great school district, great area near the ballpark, yada, yada, yada. So, we'll see at 8:30 tomorrow morning. So, again, I'm not going to text the dude or call the guy. I'm just going to show up at his house. And that's essentially what we're doing. But he caught me, like, right when I was driving out of my driveway. So, just another video here of letting you guys know, like, what we do. And, again, this was a door knock. The dude answered the door. And it just took a couple of different phone calls to follow up with the guy, and then we made an appointment. He set the price basically, and so when we worked everything out, the price was fine. Like we don't need to negotiate that. Like somebody was offering him about $7,000 less, and if that person would have followed up, that he probably would have took the $7,000 less price. You know what I'm saying? But the guy probably didn't follow up with him, or he didn't like the person or whatever. Like if you set the price and you can work in some money to that, like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, which is basically I could probably make $15,000 off of it, off the price that he set. Abso-fucking-lutely, I'm taking that deal, and then that's leverage right there. Well, you said 225. So there's 2 ways to do a deal. When somebody sets a price or a purchase price, like you can do a purchase price, or what you can do is actually net to seller. So I have 2 different contracts. It's either a purchase price or a net to seller. A net to seller is just basically, look, I'll take care of the liens and everything, and I'll put $5,000 cash in your pocket. Okay. And usually what you do is when you are screening leads or whatever, and you talk to somebody, they'll tell you what the liens are. You know what I'm saying? Is there a lien? Again, I see on this property, you might have already done some due diligence. There might be an HOA lien, or there might be some child support on there, or there might be a, medical lien, or there might be a mechanics lien on there. You might want to ask them about it, and then again, just kind of, jog their memory, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I owe money on that. Okay, so, again, but purchase price, like you could get them to pay the liens out of their profit. So if this guy's set to make like 35 grand cash in his pocket, and he's got an extra $10,000 in liens, well, he's actually only going to get $25,000. So, I put purchase price, and then I put like, any liens and encumbrances, I'm only going to pay $1 of. Okay. And I just put that right there in the 3rd page of my contract, essentially. So, everything's pretty basic on my contract, and to the point. He's got to give us access. He's got to be alert at all times. We'll ask for like 24 hours access, but again, we're not going to do an open house. Like, it doesn't need to be an open house. Like, you don't need to do that on any of the deals if you take pictures and you're dealing with real buyers, like real cash buyers. You might need to do that if you are marketing your property pretty high, and then you get some like, mom and pop team that really need to like go there 5 different times just to fucking do their measurements or whatever, get on the roof and all that shit. So, but the pros know what they're doing. They just need one look. They just need that video or those pictures, and they need to walk on the property one time and it's a done deal. I work with guys like that all the time. So those are the kind of buyers that you want to actually find. The net to seller contract is basically, again, like, I'll put $5,000 or $10,000 cash in your pocket and I'll take care of all the liens, but I'm usually getting it at a really, really good discount. So again, since this guy set the tone, like he set the price, he set the tone. I don't need to pay any of those fucking liens. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pay the closing costs. Well, I'm not actually paying it. My buyer is, my partner, a partner that I never met before, maybe. You know what I mean? It just depends on who's buying it, but the buyer is always going to pay the closing costs. That's purchase price. So the purchase price contract is just like, I'm buying it for this and you got to take care of all the liens. The net to seller is, I'm going to put this cash in your pocket and I'm going to take care of the liens. But I'm usually getting at a highly discounted price. And then my buyers are going to flip that property. Usually, most of the properties that I do are dumps. Like it takes a lot of work to do them. And the buyer just wants to get some money in their pocket and move on to the next chapter. And those are the deals that I like to do because it's very straightforward. I'm putting cash in your pocket. And again, like, out knocking doors, like, you find deals like that and you find people that, are in situations where they don't know that they can get out of, and they have a bunch of people calling to them. But if you can sit down and speak with them and just be straight with them and let them know that, your auction date is coming up. And if you run out of options, like, you have to do something. And again, that works. But it really does save their credit. It gets them to the next chapter and they can move on with their lives. But a lot of people are just hard-headed. They're stubborn. They're emotionally attached to the property. And that's just, it goes with the territory. You have to accept that. We put in an offer to this lady last night, and she was supposed to foreclose today. I mean, I haven't really checked the property today, but she's so hard-headed. I mean, she just won't let it go. And I've knocked on her door. I've had a couple other people knock on her door. She's very emotional. She's very frustrated. She doesn't want to deal with any realtor, and she doesn't want to deal with any cash buyer or any investor. She doesn't want to deal with anybody. She just wants to sit there and be stubborn. Okay, so again, if her property probably foreclosed on today, again, that's just, it goes with the territory. So you have to accept certain things. There's just certain sellers that they rather let their properties go. We had another guy last week or a couple weeks ago that, we've been knocking on his door for days. We've been leaving notes on the door. When you walk up to the door, like outside on the porch, it smells like urine. Like, I know that property is going to take probably like $30,000 just to fix up, but the guy just like won't answer us. Like he answered the door once, and he called us right back once. He set an appointment for us to like call him to like come by, like, but he's just hard-headed. And again, you don't know why people won't talk to you, or like, and you do last ditch efforts to try to like let them know, hey, I can put $5,000 or $10,000 cash in your pocket. And you shoot them a text or something like that. You try to call them, but they don't answer. You shoot them a text and you let them know that, and they still don't respond. So again, the guy's same thing. Like, he's supposed to foreclose today on Halloween. But again, you just have to accept the fact that this is a numbers game, and people aren't always going to do what they should do. What you would do. They're going to do what they're going to do when they have control of their house. When they, but again, they're giving up control once it goes to auction because some other buyer is going to buy it at an auction and essentially isn't theirs, and they have to get evicted from their own property. So if people are going to be that way, just let them be that way. But, continually work deals, try your best. I never give offers at the door or leave offers on the, like, a posted on the door. I never do door hangers, stuff like that. I mean, I'm constantly out knocking on doors. If I've spoken to somebody a couple times and then they just stop responding and they stop answering the door, again, I just kind of like on the last day that I know it's going to go to auction, I usually just shoot them a text, hey, I can put 10 grand in your pocket. Most of the time, a lot of the deals will get pushed back. a lot of the auction dates will get pushed back maybe a couple weeks or something like that, and then you have like another bite at the apple. But you know, you never really know. So again, there's no, when you first start out, there's no reason to kind of get real in your head about why people do the things that they do, because it kind of lets you down. You let yourself down at that point, because you're just like, why do people do that? You get excited about something because you're talking to somebody, and then all communication shuts off and they just don't respond. And sometimes they just sell with another wholesaler or something like that, or they sell with another cash buyer, or they just let the property go and you see all the equity go down the drain. So this guy's got a ton of equity in it, probably about like 70, 80 grand in it. You know, we can put some real cash in his pocket, but he just doesn't want to do it. I'm not going to wrap my head around his emotions. Like, I'm not going to do that. It just puts me in kind of like when I first started out in a depressed mood where it makes me not want to work. So again, like, look at everything as a number game, use logic, and things are illogical in this business. So just understand that some things are illogical. You don't know why that they're going to do that. And you don't know why that they're being all nice to you and they're telling you yes, yes, yes. And then all of a sudden they don't even answer your phone calls. So you just can't put any sort of like rationale to it. You just have to accept the fact that people are going to do what they're going to do. All right. So when you first start out, just look at it as a numbers game. And that's a logical thing to do. Okay. Because everybody else that looks at it as a numbers game, like they're just constantly looking for deals. And if one wholesaler can't bring them a deal, another wholesaler will. They're not going to get all upset about it. So again, don't bring any emotions into business ever. Just look at everything as a numbers game. Keep everything real logical, and understand that there's a lot of illogical people out there that are very emotional, and they just will let their properties go to the bank rather than, you know, giving it to a wholesaler. You know, again, or an investor. Like, again, there's no logic behind that, but people are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to be stubborn. Okay. So again, this is Nate Ness. I teach people how to knock doors. I teach people how to make money without money. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. Like I said, yellow letters, bandit signs work. Marketing works. Facebook works. All of that stuff works. But if you really want to get a deal when you're first starting out and you want to learn the language, I really suggest that you get out there and you start knocking on doors. If you don't do that, you're not really going to condition your mind to actually know what to say and what to do and how to negotiate. So if you want to develop a real thick skin real fast and the language really quickly and start getting deals relatively quick. Again, I know when I go out and work, and you know, just in the last like week and a half, like I've been getting hits. You know, I went and saw a guy that he, you know, is not in any sort of, he has two houses, and the house that he lives in, like, that's the house that he lives in. And he's trying to fix up the one that he's got on this shitty street, but it's a really phenomenal house that he redid himself. And you know, again, that's a hit. Like, his price is at retail, and there's no way I can pay what he wants. And I didn't even give him a number. I just told him I couldn't pay that. And then he's like, well, how much can you do? And I'm like, look, man, you know, you told me that you got a price, and I couldn't even do that price. You know what I mean? And again, like, they're always lying. You know, he could be lying or not lying. Like, maybe he did get that price, but if he did get that price and it was a cash offer, then fucking good for him. Like, he should have probably taken that offer. But you know, people aren't going to pay cash for what, like, he's really asking. It's going to be some sort of financing. You know what I mean? Like, he'll sell it himself or with his brother, who's a realtor. And they'll do the paperwork or whatever. But, you know, again, he can probably get that price, but, you know, who knows? He might have to pay closing costs, and he's not actually going to get the money that he thinks he's going to get. But that's the position that he's in. But he's not in any rush to sell. Like, he has enough money. He's not a motivated seller. So again, I'm not going to pay too much attention to that guy, but I still got a hit off that. Like, I still work that deal, and that's a hit. Like, so again, you're just working like to get these type of like phone calls or hits, is what I call them, you know, where somebody is responding back to you, and just figure out, like, is it a good deal or not? You know what I mean? And then you just comp it, you figure out what you can pay for it. And then you go over there and you try to negotiate that deal. If somebody is really motivated, they'll take your offer. If they like you, they'll take your offer. Again, that's why you don't act desperate, and that's why you don't act like a dick either. You know, but you do want to be nice, assertive, and you want to get your point across. So these type of tactics are what, you know, the real wholesalers, they use. I mean, again, I don't ever get upset about anything. You know, people can, you know, say certain things or, you know, be asshole to me. It's like, it's not even funny to me anymore. Like, I don't even, like, you know, turn my head to my partner and tell him the story, because, you know, there's so many different things that I've seen in this industry. Nothing really surprises me anymore. And when you first start out, like, you know, there's going to be a lot of funny things that happen that you're going to be like, holy shit, like, I can't believe that just happened. And those are the stories that you can tell in your video blog. So again, Nate Ness Education. I teach people how to make money without money. It's Halloween 2017, and I'll be up in the morning at another appointment. Have a great night. Happy Halloween.